good at Smash Brothers though.
I like Button Smash. I don't ever
But yeah, Button Smash. But I don't think I'm gonna get the new 3DS though.
I might. I still have my 3DS.
Well,
so.
it makes sense for you, but I already have an XL, so it's not too big of an upgrade. The features seem cool with the super stable 3D, I think is what they're calling it. But no one's ever really like watching me, so I don't really need such a wide angle on the 3D. And then also I don't actually ever have the 3D on when I'm playing my 3DS, so that's not too big of a concern for me.
I don't know too many people who use it outside of like showing friends, and that's it.
Well,
And if the game requires.
well, because usually the 3D, as it is on current models, because you have to be like 14 inches or so with the sweet spot.
Yeah.
If you go like left or right, then the image just skews. And at that point, I would just turn the 3D off. Which is
puzzle game use the 3D to hide things behind? Did you guys?
yes,
Yeah?
the Layton ones did have.
Perfect. 'Cause, yeah, I liked Layton when I did have a 3DS or DS. And I think that was one of the better series, just like Trace Memory, which actually utilizes all of freaking DS.
Yes.
Like, it made me so angry how complicated those puzzles were. Like, one of them required me to pose the thing while it's on.
Oh. Yeah,
and
I
another
think
one like required me to tilt it so I could see the
I think
reflection.
the new Pokemon, they're not new anymore, but X and Y, one of the Pokemon evolves when you level them up and you're holding the 3DS upside down. Like, that's not something you would discover naturally. It's hard to stand on the box because the conveyor wants to convey you elsewhere into the pits of red pink spikes.
I don't like this place. I like Pachuco's idea. He thinks it's like this because it's a beta and they don't want you to go any further. I hope it's that way, and we're not just terrible at figuring this out. It might be a lot easier, though, if we had a controller, because I can actually actively move forward and jump instead of switching around.
It's not that we can't figure it out. I mean, we understand that we have to go up. It's just we can't execute that.
But I don't think I can. I can't actually grab edges on conveyor belts. I think we tried that, and it just kind of passed it. I wasn't actively trying to grab a ledge, but
it's just really hard because you can't go up through that ladder, and then that guy, even though he's shooting missiles, is not willing to detonate that explosive right there.
They shoot each other's with missiles and they still don't detonate. It's like we're the only thing that possibly can destroy anything in this level.
Well, they're smart combat robots and just set to detonate on no friendly fire.
Themselves.
Which is how you even program that, I don't even know.
Yeah, the box idea actually, Carlos, I brought it up earlier, but it looked even more impossible than running across and trying to grab the ladder. So
it's just really hard to stay on the right side because you have to dash to move, but if you dash too far, you get the pink spikes.
We're also, I don't think you saw, but we're using this little itty bitty Bluetooth keyboard and a mouse on a dinner tray. You know, like the fold-out dinner trays. So it's like we're making this difficult for ourselves. But I was willing to try and put 5-10 minutes in to try and install.
We have like half an hour left anyway, right?
Yeah, we started at 11 or 10?
9:30.
9:30.
Yeah, I should change the voiceovers to Japanese and say it's much better.
Oh my god, as in I should know how to play with a keyboard and mouse on this.
Or
yeah, see, okay,
that keyboard doesn't help. Yeah.
I'm happy that you understand our frustration with a keyboard and mouse, or at least this tiny of a keyboard.
We have 4 viewers, I think.
Nice. 4 active viewers. They probably saw us dying all the time. We're like, this isn't gaming.
We had a really good run. I mean, well, that's because we kept stopping and talking. That's why that run seems so long.
It does. But it gave us time to actually think it through instead of run across.
Yeah, because you can get through it by button mashing. It's true. Health stocks always help, obviously, but
I didn't check that time either. Well, it doesn't matter. The spike's a freaking one-hit kill.
Yeah.
That's a little excessive for a game based on... No, that's not true. Hardcore... I get it, because it's very old school in game mechanics, but damn. Like, jeez. I don't know if this has to be the halfway point of the game. If it's
or
like
this level? No, well, I don't know if they're gonna do, like... almost carbon copy of Mega Man, where there's gonna be like a little mini boss.
Well, I know every Mega Man main world always had like boss that was themed after whatever that world
Yeah,
was.
but there was a lot of times there was a mini boss.
You're gonna need to decorate it. Sorry, so make this TV tray our official. Well, the other TV tray that's holding the Cintiq Companion is the official Cintiq Companion tray that holds our mic as well.
We'd show you that TV tray, but it looks exactly like this TV tray, so
Yeah.
there's no need to do that.
It's a nice fold out, like wood color, kind of yellow. Fake,
Solid
probably.
construction. I don't know. I don't think this is one of those like you grind it out and then just get muscle memory to do it.
I do need, either, there's two ways we can get through this.
Yeah, apparently a lot of
Force ourselves to learn the coordination of the keyboard and mouse. Or, it will have to be another time, obviously, because we're running out. But I found a way to install a driver to have my PS4 controller work on this. So,
Or the PS3, right?
PS3 is a little more finicky, but the PS4 is, it's set up to work for PC. It's just they don't have drivers for it.
Is
so
that
it's a big roundabout.
I think they probably did that because it was Xbox 360 that a lot of people were using for the controllers. But I think a lot of people were using Xbox 360 controllers. Not only were they just literally like plug and play, but just like the size and design of the controller was always like more popular. Even though I personally like the DualShock design.
I do too. I know Xbox has a long running with being a better ergonomic control as far as fitting in the hand and everything, but it never seemed to click with me. I don't know if my hands are just small enough to be just uncomfortable.
It's funny because I had the original Xbox, but then like I'd always be looking down for like red, blue, yellow, green. I think those are the colors. And then back then they also had like the black and the white buttons, and you could not distinguish those at all without looking.
It's something about the joystick's position too was always weird.
Yeah, because I
for
think
work I use it to try out the games I'm working on, so I've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
But generally, if you try and ignore the buttons that it's telling you to press, they're usually the exact same buttons. Our cats are fighting each other, but like A is X kind of thing.
Yeah.
B is circle.
Because the gamepad I have at home, it's not a Xbox 360 first party controller. I think it's a Logitech. It's Logitech, I think. But it also has the joysticks with the 360 configuration as well.
Alright.
Well, we're girls, so we have smaller hands. So I don't
Tiny hands.
Well, that's all I can say to that.
Well, yeah, I thought it for a long time it must have been a preference. The controller, when holding for long periods of time, for example, or even competitive gaming on Xbox, the controller is best on Xbox 360. I just had no problem with the PS4 and PS3 controller. I always liked them. PS4, though, seemed to find a very happy medium. It's really comfortable. The only complaint I'd ever heard about it was that the joystick starts to tear when you use it a lot, but I don't...
That happens with any.
Yeah, but it's nothing you can't buy those grips and use it, kind of thing to fix it.
I had the original PS1 too, so I mean I learned on the original PS controller there. But then yes, I also had the original Xbox, so but it's PlayStation is older.
Yeah, and it depends what I guess you grow up with. I grew up, my first real console was PS1 or PlayStation before it was
My first real console was the original Nintendo. So we got that square controller
got
going.
to touch it and play it occasionally because like either a friend or a family member had it. But as far as owning, we were primarily PC when we were kids. My dad was a computer engineer, so he built computers out of raw parts, and we all had our own computer. And we
you think you'd be better at keyboards there then, huh?
Well, apparently. Well, we play like top-down RTS and RTS are usually top-down.
Twitch shooters and stuff.
Yeah, like Blizzard-based games, Myth, Age of Empires.
I was always console.
Tribes, like first-person shooters were perfect on the PC, but I never thought about platformers until now. This is very interesting.
Yeah, the Duke of controllers there.
You can basically use that as a mace, the Xbox 360 controller, or sorry, Xbox controller.
You can use the Xbox system as like a hammer. Let's be real.
You got a brick. You can attach it to people's feet and drop them
My
into the
family,
ocean.
we were always console because I had the original Nintendo. We had a Super Nintendo, but it broke mysteriously. I don't actually know what happened. It just went
Game
out.
rage. Nobody had next to it.
I don't know. It was just not there anymore. And after that, I didn't have the N64 or the GameCube actually.
I had the GameCube. I had the Wii.
For Nintendo, we literally just jumped from Super Nintendo to Wii for at least the console versions. But for the handhelds, I have like every single one.
Yeah.
Original Game Boy, Game Boy Color.
I always wanted a
Game Boy.
handheld. I never. Well, I eventually obviously got stuff, but I would say the first I've tested on SP and Advance Nintendo stuff, stuff, but DS was definitely my first handheld. Then I had a PSP, both of which got lost or stolen. One at a time.
You can have my PSP. It's been sitting in a drawer, unloved.
Well, Diego still has his PSP, and I have my Vita now, so it's like...
We have Vitas. We're gonna play this on a not a controller, even though we've been complaining all night about controllers.
Yeah.
But I think it'd work fine. I'm pretty sure they would be able to incorporate like a touch screen, some sort of touchscreen aspect to it.
They probably will. Maybe using whatever they're talking about, forms or whatever. There's other keys on this keyboard you're supposed to use, but yeah.
Cause I've played.
Walking around. Keep it busy.
He just want to hear us talk, no?
Oh, we can still talk.
Cause I played the Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate, and then
How's that?
it's frustrating, but once you get the hang of it, it works out okay. My biggest frustration with the Blackgate, I played on Vita, is the map. They clearly know how to make maps because of like Metroid and stuff, but they maybe forgot, or all the original cartographers of the studio are now gone, because that map makes no sense. All the levels, it's top down, are squished into one, so you can be floors above where you actually need to be. There's no direction. Yeah, so...
I personally like it on PS3 just fine with it.
Well, the Blackgate is the, it's not the same game as the Arkham Origins.
Oh, it's a totally new game. Like, it's just new gameplay and everything?
Yeah, because it's like one of those like almost watered down games. How is the Vita? It's tempting to get one.
I love it, but I also wouldn't really recommend it because the games are still kind of limited.
I would recommend it only if there's a game out there that you are truly wanting to play and it's not available on any other system. I'm not saying only over exclusives, but
or if you have a PlayStation Plus account, because 90% of my games on my Vita are all free games that I got from the PlayStation Plus.
Or like, I mean, there could be a 3DS version, but if you think it's better on the Vita, because the Vita version of Blackgate versus the 3DS version, Blackgate, the graphics way better. But I do know that the 3DS version got an overall like higher rating from the critics and whatever.
Probably has a better response.
Yeah, but I just felt it was because I compare the graphics on gameplay videos and video was way better.
Yeah.
So
that's one of my separate things because the original
Shovel Knight is amazing. Have you heard the soundtrack? Because that's just out of the world. I mainly got the Vita for Tales of Hearts. I know it's not out yet, but I got an amazing deal and got the Borderlands bundle with it, and I play Borderlands all the time, so, and plus you can actually do a cross save on Borderlands, so that just cemented my decision right there.
That makes sense. I was wondering how that was going to work too.
It's a little finicky, and you can't play with anyone that's playing on their PS. Like, if you're playing with anyone, they have to play on their Vita as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's really for you to advance your character or play around with pastime?
Yeah, because in terms of like memory, they don't have all the DLC contained there as well, but the main game is completely